Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro had already made clear his intention to make Israel Brazil's top ally in the Middle East and sealed it with the promise to move the country's embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. The decision was welcomed by Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who attended Bolsonaro's inauguration, but it departs from Brazil's tradition of neutrality in the Arab-Israeli conflict, and some fear it could work against the country's economic interests. Government's figures show that Brazil's exports to Israel represent only 2.2% of the country's total exports to Middle Eastern and North African nations. Food, particularly meat products, are Brazil's main export to the region. Egypt, for example, is Brazil's biggest buyer of beef. The president of the Arab-Brazilian Chamber of Commerce sees a risk of long-term damage to commercial relations if the government pushes ahead with the embassy move.
Brazil's trade with Arabic countries grew sevenfold over the last 20 years and was built on a relationship of trust. With this move, we could lose the potential for growth and, over time, lose our relative share. But I don't think this would happen in the short term.
Evangelical Christians make up a key portion of President Jair Bolsonaro's support base, and it's from this religious group, more than from Brazilian Jews, that's coming the pressure to move the embassy to Jerusalem. The reason is largely based on interpretation of a biblical prophecy saying that Jesus Christ will only return to earth after Jerusalem is fully under Jewish rule.
For this preacher and leader of the Evangelical Front at São Paulo's State Assembly, pragmatic considerations such as trade should not be prioritized above Scripture.
If the State of Israel determines that Jerusalem is its capital city and the place to have the embassy, it's my understanding that Brazil should not only think about itself and its conviction, but about what is right. I believe Jesus Christ will return one day, and I believe his coming is getting closer. These are signs.
This researcher says Brazilian Jews, for the most part, do not support the move.
Among many in Brazil's Jewish community, this is a cause for concern. It's seen as an excessively daring step, and it's not clear how this could benefit Brazil in general and the Brazilian Jewish community in particular.
Jair Bolsonaro has stated that the question is not if Brazil will move its embassy to Jerusalem, but when it will happen. As yet, there's been no outline of a timetable released from his office. Paulo Cabral, CGTN, São Paulo.